Hello everyone, welcome back to another Apex Hero build video. And in today's video, we're going to be covering Oboro, which is the new banner unit from today's banner. And just for a brief description of the hero's playstyle. So basically, I like to compare him somewhat to Epsilon, but his kit is basically a very extreme version of Epsilon, where he forces himself to stay at the back and just stand there for a set number of turns, and then after those turns he transforms and he gains buffs equivalent to the number of turns that he stayed there. So yeah, that's basically how he works. And then so first off, to cover his talent, when initiating battle, damage dealt increases by 12% up to 20% at 6 stars. If this hero has no soldiers, then the enemy's soldier damage is reduced by 90% before entering battle, and this hero gains a shield after taking action, which can block damage equal to 25% of the hero's max HP. Cannot be dispelled, and when the hero dies, they deal 0.3 times AoE damage up to 0.5 to the damage dealer, so basically the unit that killed them, and permanently increases their damage taken by 20%, also cannot be dispelled. So this part about when this hero has no soldier, so basically that's a side effect from his transform skill, and reduces the enemy's soldier damage by 90%, so it's almost like a hero to hero fight, except that the soldiers are still there, they still tank damage, but they only deal 10% of their damage. And your hero, which is Oboro, gains a shield after taking action, so it's literally every turn you will get 25% extra HP as a shield. So you know, you think of like Kruger shield, it's something like that, but you get it every turn after you transform. So let's cover his skills. So he has a bunch of these normal skills which I'm not gonna go through. His AoE skills, you're almost never gonna bring them. I can't really think of a situation where you would. So the main thing here is his transform. His description is so long that I can't even see the damn name. Like, can I look at it here? Yeah, no, I can't. Okay, so whatever, his transform skill, so used to gain elemental amassing. Unable to attack, move, be displaced, or use any skills except for Dragon Morph. After taking action, restores 20% of HP and gains Dragon Veiler. Mobility +1 and hero's attack defense, magic defense increases by 7% per stack and stacks up to 4 times. Each successive stack of Dragon Veiler between 1 and 4 triggers the following effects. After initiating battle, restores HP equals to 25% of damage dealt, unit range +2, immunity, very descriptive, basically immunity to all debuffs, and damage increases by 15% and attacks ignore guard. So this is 1 to 4. So first stack he gains the heal based on damage dealt, then second stack he gets +2 range, third stack he gains immunity to all debuffs, then fourth stack he gains damage increase 15% and attacks ignore guard. So after that, so basically you get this by ending turn. You're not supposed to click Dragon Morph. Dragon Morph is the skill that lets you turn into a dragon. So Dragon Morph teleports to any block within the area and loses elemental amassing. The hero sacrifices all of their soldiers to permanently gain 30% increased max HP and restores 50% of HP when you transform. So, and upon entering battle, the hero can attack 1 additional time. Soldier HP is reduced by 90%. Soldier max HP, not soldier HP, because they're all dead. And they are unable to receive healing, and the movement type is changed to flying. The hero can act again after use with additional mobility equal to their number of Dragon Veiler stacks. So the 1 to 4 stacks here. And after use, elemental amassing is replaced with Dragon Morph. Yeah, just here. All effects of, yeah, basically the skill, all the effects from these skills cannot be dispelled or immunized. So let's talk about the Dragon Morph for a little bit. So basically the soldier HP reduced by 90%. It's here so that you can run full moon on him, because let's say your soldiers has like, you know, 12, 13k HP. So when you transform, their max HP becomes 1.2k. So, and because of that, also because of your increased max HP, so you're basically at full health, you can maintain your 90%, like above 80% of your total HP, and you can receive the buff from full moon. And it also works for things like Najot, I guess, although Najot should be based on percentage as well, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's basically the purpose of this reduced max HP. And after he transforms, he just basically becomes a dragon, so only the hero, but he gets to attack twice, which happens to apply to his skills as well. It's not just normal attacks. So yeah, that's basically his transform skill. You know, you stay there, you gain stacks for each turn you stay there, get more stats, and you get various different effects for depending on the duration that you stay there. And after that, you transform and then you go ham. So his 2C attack skill that you usually bring because for lack of better skill. So attacks a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage, and before entering battle, if your attack is higher than the enemies, you will give them 2 random debuffs before battle. So very straightforward skill, 2 cooldown, melee range. I mean, you compare it to Armor Pierce. I mean, they're roughly the same, right? I guess you could consider Armor Pierce over this one, but okay, I actually didn't test this. 2 random debuffs, I'm gonna assume it can do things like heal block and unbuffable. Because it doesn't say strong debuffs or anything. I'll need to check that later when I do the demo. So for his 3C skill, Dragon Veiler Fury, basically it has a passive that for every 1 stack of Dragon Veiler, which is basically this one, the number of turns that you stay, elemental amassing. And then this unit deals 25% increased damage when their talent triggers upon death. So it's the AoE that, whoever kills you, they take like 0.5 times AoE damage. So you will deal additional 25% per stack. So at 4 stacks, you deal 100% more increased damage. And when attacking and entering battle, if the enemy has no soldiers, then this hero deals 15% increased damage, which basically means that they are fucking dead if they don't have soldiers. So physical damage, attacks a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage, and then after battle deals an additional 0.33 times AoE damage to enemies within 1 block, and for every 1 stack of Dragon Veiler, the area of this damage is increased by 1. So with no stacks, it's 1 range, and if you have 4 stacks, it goes up to 5 range AoE. This is pretty big, and this is 5 blocks from himself. So yeah, it's also a pretty simple skill, so most of the complex stuff is in his transform actually. But in simple terms, you just sit there, and the longer you sit there, the stronger you get when you transform. That's it. So moving on to his class. So you can see here mine is built as Lancer, but he has another dragon class, and I'll pull up the stats here. So Battle God is his Lancer class, and Spirit Dragon Reincarnator is his dragon class. So you see the dragon has quite a good chunk of HP more, but slightly lower defense and quite a lot of MDef higher. But mainly the decision between Lancer and Dragon is depending on what gear you want to equip on him, which we'll cover later on. And for his class mastery, I went for a defensive build because I didn't really see the point of him going for crit damage. I think his crit chance isn't that high, and I think if he survives, he basically, he's built as a late game hard carry, so survivability is pretty decent on him, especially because he gets a lot of HP inflation from his transform skill. Oh, you can see the name of the transform skill here. Yeah, you get 30% increased max HP, so bulk is pretty nice on him, especially at lower stars, because his defensive stats aren't that high if you don't build for it. So he has a lot of HP, but he's not that tanky, I would say. Oops. Okay, for his soldiers, so because he nukes his soldier when he transforms, so soldiers are mainly for defensive purposes when he's just sitting there. So in that case, you would mostly consider Steel Wing Warrior and Heavy Centurions if you need to tank Steel Wing Warrior if you need to tank range attacks, and Centurions if you need to tank cavalry. General purpose, I'll probably just go with Steel Wing Warriors. But there's an extra troop here, which is the Dragon Trooper, that you can consider if you think you won't need to tank anything when you are just sitting there. Because I realized that Dragon Trooper, this effect, after being attacked and taking damage, unit mobility is increased by 2 last 1 turn. This effect actually applies even when the troopers are dead for whatever reason. I don't know why it applies, but it does. So if you don't think you need to tank anything, you can just bring this, and then basically with anyone that does damage to you, regardless of if it's single target or AoE, they will just give you a free +2 mobility, which is, more mobility is never bad. And then for equipment wise, so this is the Lancer set that I went with. Don't mind the not max carbon fiber. So double carbon fiber build with Judge Talisman with Scarlet Reaper. So this build basically tries to take advantage of his death AoE and also his 3C AoE, I guess, for AoE damage. So because when you die you're at 0% health, so carbon fiber basically turns into plus 8% attack. If you run both, it's plus 16%. And if you deal counter damage to them, they're not full health, you deal another plus 5% increased damage. And after you AoE them, they also take this fixed damage equals to 0.5 times of your attack. So this build is mostly built based on that AoE. So you fight, and then when you die, you try to take them with you, basically. Judge Talisman, basically you can replace it with any attack accessory. Judge Talisman just happens to do more to Holy, which is probably one of the most common classes nowadays. So I have this sheet here, which is basically the other class. You would run Ragnarok, Azure Legend, Najot, and Wingshin Guard. So this build is basically built for defense stacking. So Ragnarok, for obvious reasons, even in the magic build you can consider running Ragnarok to break things like Sorceress or the Holy effect from, what is it called? Holy Light Protection from the Mage Holy tree. So helps you do more damage. Whereas Scarlet Reaper is really just for the all-in death AoE. So weapon is debatable between the builds. But for the Dragon build, Azure Legend is mainly used because he's not considered full HP when he transforms, because his soldiers are dead, which means Last Rites doesn't apply. So with Azure Legend, you can get the plus 10% HP and also the 10% defense when you're above 50% HP. But you can consider Last Rites still if you are more worried about surviving before he transforms. It's a valid option, so it depends on what you want. And Najot, because he's generally gonna be higher HP percentage, I would say. Actually, okay, this one I'm not really sure. Percentage of flat, because if you run it on Oboro, I'll actually assume it works based on flat HP, which is his dragon form. He has a lot of hero HP, so it applies the plus stats. And then for Wingshin Guard, it's just additional defense stacking. So with this build, your HP is going to be slightly on the lower end because of the Wingshin Guard, but you're going to basically stack as much defense as possible and you're going to run Full Moon with it. Oops, I actually put the wrong enchant for the Priest. For the Lancer build, it's supposed to be magic. And for the Lancer build, there's another situational nominee, which is the Tiamat's Armor, which could potentially help him survive against mages, because right now normally with his build he's actually quite weak to mages. Like mages will just one-shot him most of the time. With Tiamat and 6 star, I think there's a chance he might be able to tank some of the weaker mage attacks. So that needs to be further tested at 6 stars, whether it's worth to run it or not, and also whether it's worth running over carbon fiber. So basically, can he net the counter kills that he would otherwise? So yeah, I don't have the answer to that for now, but just keep that in mind. It's quite a good armor to run. And other than that, in Lancer form, I guess you could go for those damage reduction armor like Forbidden. RNG is RNG if it works in your favor. But yeah, that basically covers it for the equipment. So for our mechanics test today, we're actually going to be headed into Sleipnir instead of the usual Twisted Fate map. Because in the Twisted Fate maps, you can't bring this many against. So yeah, in order to demonstrate the 4 stacks, I want to do it this way, it's the fastest. So first thing you want to note is that, okay, let's end this guy first, is that you don't click this to get stacks, you click stand. This is his transform skill, and you will just go into your second state after you click this skill. So you just stand, gain stacks, stack again. That is too far, but it's okay because we have Weiler here. Weiler here? Oh, fuck. Okay. This only works after he transforms, my bad. Let's clock back. Okay. Let's not screw this up again. Form and turn, third stack. Oh shit, I'm lacking one again. But it's okay, we'll just transform at the third stack. Because the fourth stack basically just gives him +1 mobility and the damage increase and ignore guard, which I don't really need to demonstrate. So it's nice to know that you can actually still teleport Oboro, you just can't displace him. And then, okay, so first off, let's look at Oboro's health. He has 6.88k HP here, and he has 7.5k on the troops. So these troops are not max, so that's why the HP is low. Click transform. He can jump 3 blocks. And after he transforms, he can move another 3 blocks, which is based on the number of stacks that he has. So if he has 4 stacks, he can move another extra 4 blocks. So as you can see here, his HP has increased and the troop total HP has decreased by like 90%. So I didn't actually test this beforehand. I hope he doesn't die hitting into Sleipnir, which he probably will based on that attack stat. So let's not do that. I'm just going to end turn. And I'm just going to show that this works. So because he doesn't have troops, you can actually use Weiler's Act again on him. I don't know if anyone's going to be playing Weiler in 2023, but you know, just a little bit of trivia. Wait, oh, it's an attack. Whoops. I meant to test his AoE. I haven't done Sleipnir in 2 years, so I don't remember which skill is his AoE. Oh shit. Okay, so basically I just need to park him outside. Okay, good. So that means I can just use my clock to go back and demo the double attack even if he dies, I think. So let's see if he dies before he gets the second attack out. So he shoots one beam, and then he shoots another beam, and then, oh, he actually doesn't die with 15% HP. And then, yeah, that's the AoE. Scarlet Reaper. And he gets the shoot back every damn turn. So it's effectively a 25% heal every turn if you're not full health. But yeah, okay, let's go all the way back to... yeah, here. Act again. It's okay. I'm just gonna transform Oboro outside. Okay, I could have gone 1 turn less back, but yeah. Stand here. Stand here. Goodbye, Akaya. Oh, okay. Goodbye, Liana. Then Sleipnir does his every turn AoE. Yeah, as you can see, the Dragon Trooper effect works even though they're all dead for some reason. So yeah, I guess it's just one of those things that they don't really tell you. Usually troop effects don't work if they're all dead. For example, Lava Titans or... okay, actually that's one of the main examples. What else? Yeah, Lava Titans. But for Dragon Trooper, for some reason, Oboro can get the +2 mobility even if they're all dead. So yeah, that about covers it for the actual mechanics for Oboro. So I hope this video was useful, hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.